Welcome to the Freedom Project podcast. My name is Tom Foxley. Let's start with a question I never, ever expected to ask myself. How am I staring at a half-naked cowboy on a cold February evening in Shepherd's Bush? And why is he thrusting at me so aggressively? Look, it's a fair question, right? And one I was seriously pondering last Saturday night whilst watching Warren Zeiders play at the O2. If you don't know Warren, here is how ChatGPT described him to me. And this is exactly as written. There was one prompt I gave it, but this is exactly what he described. Warren Zeiders walks on stage like a man who knows every woman in the crowd is already halfway to writing his name in cursive on their notebooks. Every slow song is an opportunity for an intense stare into the crowd as if he's trying to lock eyes with someone's girlfriend and make her reconsider her entire relationship. And let's be honest, the men in the audience know what's happening. They're just holding on to their beers, praying their girlfriends don't start describing his voice as dangerous yet vulnerable. And honestly, that is exactly what this was like. He was mostly naked, always like flapping at his shirt, trying to flash a nipple. I actually quite enjoyed the gig, not for those reasons. I quite like his music, but something felt off. It didn't feel like art. It wasn't art. It was a performance. His little monologues between the songs, they were clearly pre-scripted. And the way that he did that shirt button being undone between songs thing, straight from a playbook, and it was monotonous. Not monotonous, it was predictable. And like these smoldering looks and these eye connection things he did with only the female people in the crowd, they were calculated and they felt mechanical. And because of all that, and probably 20,000 unconscious things, I think, well, speaking for myself, definitely the group that I was with, but I think most of the crowd felt a little flat and disconnected. We weren't engaged with him. We were just watching an act. And that is the problem with inauthenticity. Now, I don't know Warren personally. Maybe this is him. Maybe he is the cowboy Casanova that his brand suggests. But if he's playing a role, if he's forcing himself into a persona that isn't truly him, I worry for him. Because I know what inauthenticity does to high performers. At first, it works. It pays the bills, it gets attention, it kind of logically ticks boxes, and then it becomes draining. It begins to feel like a slog. Eventually, you lose love for your path. And that is where burnout happens. That's where people self-sabotage, because deep down, they know they're living out of alignment. But here is what happens when you align yourself with something deeper. You tap into what I call effortless effort. It's no longer a grind. It doesn't feel forced. You're not dragging yourself through each day by your fingernails, waiting for the moment you can switch off. Because now, your work becomes an active contribution at your highest level. And that is what real high performance looks like. Not playing a character, not forcing a persona, but bringing your true best self to the world without resistance. So here's my challenge for you. Are you forcing an identity that isn't really you? Or are you fully aligned with your purpose, moving through life with effortless effort? Because authenticity isn't just a buzzword, it's a high performer's secret weapon. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because the more aligned you are, the further you'll go. Thank you for listening to the Freedom Project podcast. I'm Tom Foxley, and I'll see you next time.